What's up everyone, Lance Hedrick here, and today I'm in Sydney, Australia at the Breville HQ. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you have a moment, go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe if you enjoy what I do. I want to go ahead and thank Breville for allowing me to come here, playing with this machine, and just working with me on some crazy idea I had and sent an email out about. Yeah, if you have any questions about this, I'm going to go ahead and say leave them in the comments below, but this is a fairly exhaustive overview of this machine. Share it with your friends, you know, make fun of it down below if you want. No, don't do that or I'll come after you. But anyway, I hope you enjoy what proceeds. So today we're going to be taking a look at the machine you all saw me unveil from Boston Expo in 2022, the LH Breville dual boiler. Now this is not the white and gold one that you saw, that I posted about. This is actually the evil twin of it. It is the same thing, just with black on black. So as you see from the side, we've got some latte art here. And then on this side over here, this is one of my favorite aspects of the machine actually. This is an inverted swan, a slow Zeta with a reversed inverted swan right here. This is an homage to my late friend Daniel Lee. He sadly was diagnosed with colorectal cancer last September and passed away in November, but he was a good friend of mine, an incredibly bright source in the coffee world, and is someone that I just wanted to remember in this way. So I put his favorite latte art pattern right there. This is a pour that I did in a video a few months back. But anyway, so that's kind of some of the design elements. Now we're going to switch back to the front. All right. So now on the one that we unveiled in Boston, the steam wand over here was a little bit more bulky and had the LH logo there, and the hot water knob had the LH. This one, again, this was kind of the prototype, the first one that was created down here in Australia when we were working through the different elements. Now, before we continue looking at the machine, I'm going to give you a quick little background story on how this came to be. Back in maybe December of 2021, I finagled a friend of mine who worked at Breville to give me Phil McKnight, his email address. Because, you know, Phil's a legend. And so I got his email address and I sent him a long, lengthy email essentially begging that we need to do a Lance Hedrick dual boiler. I had made a video on the modifications I did on my own personal dual boiler, and I sent him a laundry list of things I think would be cool to see in a concept machine. So similar to how you do concept cars, I thought this would be a cool concept machine, could grab some attention. And so, shockingly, his response to me was, Lance, I love that idea, let's hop on a Zoom. And we, as quickly as possible over the next couple of months, scrounged together a team to create this concept machine that we unveiled at Boston 2022. So it was really quick. There's some things about this that, you know, are still going to be changed for future iterations, but essentially what we have here is we have a knob that is essentially a potentiometer. So it's controlling voltage to the pump in order to control the flow rate going through the puck, which in effect gives you pressure control. And the pump that it goes to is not the usual vibratory pump. Instead, we opted for a gear pump. This gives us a lot more control, it's a lot more powerful, and the best thing about it is it's silent, and you'll see that here in a bit. So we've got complete flow control with a rotary knob, and underneath we have my glasses, okay? All right, so we have glasses right under here that's in a gloss black. So this is all matte black with gloss on top. Then button number 1 is inspired by Chris Hendon, Michael Cameron, the Turbo Shot paper that I've done a video on, linked right here. So this is a 6-bar max 1:3 ratio shot, and what we've done is we have connected via Bluetooth and a Kaya lunar scale that's integrated into the drip tray, and what happens is at 51 grams it shuts off. So I've built this to be for a 17-gram shot. So you do 17 grams in your portafilter, you hit the button, and it pulls out in less than 20 seconds, not surpassing 6 bar, and then boom, shuts off on its own at 51 grams because we have essentially a gravimetric scale into the design itself. The second button is inspired by one of my favorite lever profiles, which is the Olympia Cremina lever machine. So this replicates the pressure profile of the Olympia Cremina based off of time. So in 50 seconds, it essentially completely replicates that Olympia Cremina profile. I'll put a picture of it right here for you to look. And this is the decent graph of that exact profile. So this machine does that exact profile, so all you have to do is dial in the grind size for buttons 1 and button 2. And then outside of those two shots. This just gives you the flow control to do whatever you want. I tend to really enjoy turbo shots, so without having to control it, I just want to be able to hit a button, have the OPV adjusted essentially to 6 bar so that I can pull a nice turbo shot without having to do much. Anyway, then of course down here we have our scale that's integrated into the drip tray. Look how nice that is. Beautiful. So I have jankily done in my Breville dual boiler video, I've taken a Dremel tool and cut out a spot for my scale, which is messy and not as pretty as this. So I was really excited to be able to integrate a scale into the machine itself. Anyway, all right. So that's the long and short of what this machine does. And so now, you know, let's go ahead and let's pull a shot or two. We'll go ahead, I'll show you how responsive the potentiometer here is, and then I'll pull a turbo shot. We'll pull an Olympia Cremina profile. Now when I was pulling these shots at Expo, what I did was I dialed them both into the same grind size, but with this one I did a 21 gram shot, and this one I did a 17 gram shot, so I didn't have to switch the grind size very often, which is actually a pretty economical way of doing things. So you grind it coarse enough that at 17 grams it pulls 51 in less than 20 seconds. But when you add 4 extra grams, it slows it down to be able to follow the pressure curve of the profile for a Cremina. Anyway, with all that being said, without much further ado, I am going to clap my hands and we're going to cut to me pulling a shot. And we're back. So I've put in here coffee and I'm going to show you what the flow profiling looks like. So we're going to take a cutesy little cup. We're going to put it on here. And then what's important to listen to this. Whenever I start this, it's going to tear the scale automatically because it's connected by Bluetooth. So I'm going to get my live mic close and then you're going to hear it. Ready and boom, it's teared out. So now I'm just slowly allowing the flow rate, the slow flow rate to saturate the puck and then slowly build pressure. And here we go. We're up to 2 bar, we're up to 3 bar, we're just building pressure. I'm gonna let it sit at 3. Now we have a few drips. I'm gonna let it get a little bit more and then boom, we're gonna roll it up. Bang. Now we're up to 7 bar, 8 bar, we're at 9. I'm gonna sit at 9 till about 25 grams and we'll start cascading down. We're at 25 grams. Now we're just gonna go slower and lower and lower and lower. At 5 bar, we're at 3 bar. Just kidding, we're at 9 bar again. Look at that, and now we're going down. We're at 7 bar, 6 bar, 5 bar, 4 bar, 3 bar, and 9 again, because why not? Okay, just kidding, we are going back down now. We're gonna go back down, we're gonna put the baby to sleep. Oh, back up to 5, no, okay, we're for real ending it, and there it is. A delicious 80 gram shot with like 40,000 modulations of the pump because I was playing with the flow rate. Okay. So that just kind of shows you the responsiveness of this potentiometer. It's, in my opinion, the best way to do flow control. It does a little bit better than the different types of valves, in my opinion, and so I absolutely love it. You just get such a responsive feedback whenever using the potentiometer there. So I'm probably not going to drink that because that's 80 grams of weirdly extracted coffee, but I wanted to show the responsiveness of it. So with this, you can use essentially any grind size, and you can choose to do any type of flow you're wanting in order to emulate any style shot, from a Spro over to a Slayer style shot to any type of lever machine style to a Rayo Allonge to a blooming espresso. All of these things you can do because you have full control over the flow rate. So that's kind of fun. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this portafilter out. I'm going to clap my hands and we'll be doing a turbo shot right. All right, so I've prepped a turbo shot and it's right up here loaded and ready to go. Now if anyone's familiar with Jingle All the Way, the Christmas classic featuring the beastly Austrian Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm going to just do a little something I like to call It's Turbo Time. All right, so as you'll see here, the pressure's building immediately up to 6 bar. All right. So we're at about 5.5, that's where we're gonna sit. I could probably go a little finer to hit it up to 6, but we're gonna sit at 5.5 because in all seriousness, pressure's a red herring, but they did find that lower bars gave a little bit more consistent extractions. And here we go, in under 20 seconds, right at 51 grams, we have our turbo shot. So these you're sacrificing texture for clarity. So this is a shot that if you want to really bring out the acidity, the florality, this will give it to you with consistency. So you don't have 1 out of 3 shots as good. You're going to have 3 out of 3 shots as good because we're on the coarser side of things that make it a lot easier to extract evenly. Anyway, turbo shots are delicious. Give it a try. I don't have a spoon with me, so I'm going to stir with my WDT because I'm a rebel, and a rebel without a cause. Clint Eastwood has nothing on me. So here we go. I'm going to take a little sip. Turbos for days. So that's our little turbo shot button that I pulled some actually for Chris Hendon, and I'll link his paper below that he wrote with Michael Cameron on these. But and he absolutely thought it was hilarious. So I'm stoked about that. And then anyway, I'm going to go ahead, reset everything, and pull that Cremina lever profile right now. All right, so we are loaded and ready to do the Cremina. Now, now I need to make a comment about this. As earlier I said, this is the evil twin of the original one from the Expo. Not only is it the evil twin, it's also the machine from the Darkest Timeline. Any community fans out there, thank you, Dan Harmon, for creating a masterpiece. So I couldn't find a spoon because I'm a silly person, and the WDT, I can't keep using that to stir, so I'm going to use a knife because we play Clue here, and it's Lance in the kitchen with a knife. So anyway, before we continue, we're going to have to pull the shot before I taste it, and Cremina lever profile now. All right, so what it's going to be is a 50-second shot where essentially it's pressure profiled. So it starts by saturating the puck, and now the pressure is slowly building. It's up to 1, it's up to 1.5, up to 2, up to 3, up to 4, up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. We're going to live at 9 for a bit. Just going to live at 9. All right, now we're slowly coming down. We're coming down. We're coming down. We're down to 8. Slow your roll. We're down to 7.5, down to 7, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5. We have a rocket launch in 4, 3, slowest rocket ever, 2, and 1. Boom, there you go. So that is the nice Cremina lever profile done over time. So this was actually a little too coarse. We pulled out 80 grams. I didn't feel like wasting all the coffee to dial in for just a video. But you saw even with a coarse grind setting, I was still able to maintain the pressure that I wanted. If I were to updose or fine the grind up a bit, we'd obviously be able to get a smaller ratio, somewhere closer to 1 to 3, 1 to 2.5. Anyway, there is my Cremina. I'm going to stir it with a knife aggressively because we're with the evil twin. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If I had a twin here, this would be really scary. All right, there we go. Made a mess. Still delicious. I don't care what you say. F the haters. Okay, so that is the overview. I am really stoked about this machine. I'm so thankful for Breville to indulge in my wild fantasies and creating this crazy machine that is not really I mean, this isn't a thing. This isn't a thing. Nobody has a turbo shot and a Cremina shot. That's just memeable. You can make a meme about these. I know Brian Kwan has. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you have made some tasty coffee today, or you're about to make some tasty coffee, or you were drinking tasty coffee while watching this. Otherwise, I hope you brewed some tasty coffee today, and cheers.